Hello, good evening, welcome to Rangers Radio. John, myself, Fox here on the show tonight is the first two Titans, the one and only JFK and the young pretender, GB. How we doing, gents?
All right, Ox here. All right, GB.
Good evening, JFK. Good evening, Ox. Welcome back, everybody.
Is there any truth you've been on the raw meat today, JFK?
I've chowed a bit, mate. Chowed a bit.
Right, okay. Was that Chalmer Kitty Cat?
Oh, don't know, hold on to tell me to lick it. I wasn't licking the kitty cat there.
No, JFK, it's not that kind of show. How about you, GB? How's everything? How's the little one?
Doing great, Ox. So this is probably about the first night I'm bright-eyed, bushy-tailed for you, so I'm glad to be back, mate.
All right, okay. Bridgeman's all right. Don't let anybody worry. Some of the speculation coming out the club. He's all right. I spoke to him earlier on this evening. He's fine. He's on the solids. He's okay. He'll be back with us. And if anything breaks, he'll be with us. All right, just in case anybody's worrying about him, JFK.
All right, okay. I was wondering where he was.
Aye, he's all right. He's all right. It's because it's a clash of the Titans, and we had amongst the Rangers radio panelists, we had a sort of a wee chat, and people punked for certain players, and you're going to sell that player. So, GB, you went for Alan McGregor, and you went for Andy Gorham, JFK, yeah?
Yeah.
But before we get into that, just want to calm your nerves a wee bit. And obviously, there's a lot of speculation coming out the club today, and the story's growing arms and legs, and we can't just gloss over it because it is a story. Now, some people say there's no smoke without fire. The press are with it. At the moment, it's pure speculation. It looks as if the speculation is growing arms and legs, JFK. My view's simple. People don't want to be Ibrox. You move on and you go to the next step. I don't know what your thoughts are.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, mate. You know, there's better managers than Steven Gerrard left Rangers. So if somebody's gave him a carrot and they want to go and have a chew at it, then by all means let him go. And we move on from there. If he does go, he's been a great ambassador for Rangers, and to win the 55th league title as him as our manager was absolutely wonderful. And let's hope that he does become the manager that wins our 56th title. But if he doesn't want to be there, then we can't hold him. So just let him go. And for me, he would go with my best wishes if that did happen.
That's if he wants to go, aye.
Yeah,
of course.
Definitely.
It's speculation. GB, obviously, are you on the rusks, or are you managed to go on the solids today?
No, on the rust, mate. Need something extra. No, it's a concern, no, because I think it's just about the timing now, mate. We're sitting in a good position in all competitions and stuff, and I just feel as though that I think if he was going to sign halfways, I would rather signed after the end of the season. I just don't think it's the right time for him to go. But like you say, it's purely speculation. Maybe our manager is sitting back, killing himself, laughing at all this, and getting himself prepared for the Hibs semi-final. So here's hoping, mate.
Right, listen, if he wants to go, as JFK said, he'd go with a blessing. Aye, thank him for everything he's done. Shake hands and you move on. You know, players come and go, managers come and go.
Yep.
The one constant is support, JFK.
Of course it is, mate. I mean, the next manager, whoever he may be, if it happens over the weekend, then he'll get the backing that we always give him. You know, there's only two managers in that I can remember in my history that we didn't go. I mean, that was Le Guen and Kashina. But no, he's been. I mean, no, we can't use a past tense. No, at this moment in time, Steven Gerrard's a Rangers manager, and I hope he remains so to go forward. But we'll just need to wait and see.
Aye, and if the story breaks or it grows any arms and legs, we will bring you up to date, but we're not dealing with speculation here.
No.
and what people say in Radio Clyde. Because, again, international break, there's no big stories. And in Scotland, there's a big story that should be front and back news, front and back page, but isn't. But maybe I'm just being cynical, GB.
It's funny how it's always focused on Rangers in these international breaks for some reason, mate, isn't it?
But maybe I'm just being cynical, mate.
Nah, not at all.
Okay, Alan McGregor versus Andy Gorham. Are you judging this on or off the park? GB.
I would prefer it off the park, to be honest. Just me, his antics. Certainly a guy I'd like to hang about with. But I think it would be a close contest, Ox. It would be a close contest.
Maybe as close off the park as it is on it, JFK.
I would I'll put honour of being in Andrew Lewis Gorham's. Somebody's been doing their homework today, GB. No, I've always do that. So come on now. You caught me there. No, I've been in his company a couple of times, and one of them was a right bender, and he likes his bevy like the Maesties, and he's a bit of a character. So he's got into a few scrapes off the park, as we all know, but that's what probably makes Andy Gorham that kind of character. And I think he played the same way. The old saying is, you work hard, you play hard, and I think he did.
Okay. Keep some of your powder. Okay, right, okay, we're going to toss a coin. I'm going to ask Fox, he'll go on the timing. You're going to get 5 minutes to present why your goalkeeper or your player is a better player, better Ranger, maybe no, but just a better goalkeeper, yeah, in your eyes, yeah. You're not decrying the other one, you're just saying why yours is the best.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Yep.
Fair enough, yep.
All right, so we'll toss the coin. Heads or tails, GB?
Go heads.
Tails it is. First or second, JFK?
I'll go first.
First. Are you ready there, Mr. Fox, with the 5 minutes? Just let me know when you want to start, and just tell me when it's finished, mate, and I'll wind the boys up, yeah?
Okay.
Okay, in 3, 2, 1. Off you go, JFK.
Evening, boys and girls. JFK here. I'm going to give you a wee 5 minutes about why I think Andy Gorham is the better goalkeeper from Alan McGregor. Andrew Lewis Gorham, born 1964. What a goalkeeper he was. Not just a goalkeeper, he was an all-round sportsman. You know, he played cricket for Scotland. He came to Rangers in the summer of 91 in a £1 million transfer deal. And I remember he made his debut, and it was against St Johnstone. We won 6-0 that day. And he didn't have much today. But the next couple of weeks wasn't too great from her. The goal against Hearts, and then the one against Sparta Prague, but are memorable goals because they were very, very soft goals. But for me, Andy Gorham, it was his bravery in the defence, and the last man in defence. You know, go back to the Celtic games. Celtic could never beat him a lot of times. The Van Hooijdonk point blank chip there, always go to today's picky spot. Andy Gorham, wonderful save. And then the same game we got a penalty. Andy Gorham, great save. But the night that really, for me, and unfortunate to watch it on the telly, and I think one of our panel guys was at the game, was at Ellen Road in '92 when we were winning, and Andy Gorham had a one-man show that night. And what a fantastic performance to take us through against Leeds United. But all around Andy's attributes, no being the tallest of goalkeepers, he was brave. He had a good bit of agility about him as well, even for his size. He's coming out to meet a player. He was fearless. He wasn't frightened to go right at the feet, where a lot of goalkeepers, especially nowadays, are frightened to do that. But Andy Gorham put his head where it hurt. And then for me, in the years he was at Rangers, was fantastic. I mean, he played 184 times for Rangers. And I know that's not as long as other goalkeepers gone by. But I mean, Andy Gorham, for me, the type of player he was, fearless, off and on the park. As I say, I'm lucky enough to have met him a couple of times, and he's ferocious on the park and off it. And he loved life, and he was a real blue nose. Although he was born in Oldham, I think it was, if memory serves me right. And I went on to play for them. But when he came to Rangers, anybody that you say Mr. Rangers and they bang the chest, and they're false, some of them for me. But Andy Gorham was a true Rangers legend and always will be. Part of the 9 in a row team that went right through, and it was absolutely magnificent. He got 43 Scotland caps, which I think he should have got more. And he should have. For me, should have got 100 caps easy. But we know that there was things happening there that goalkeepers were getting picked for different reasons, and it wasn't through skill. Andy had a sterling career when he left us. He went to Notts County, Sheffield United, Motherwell. He actually played for Manchester United. He made two appearances for them. He went to Hamilton, Coventry, back to Oldham, the first club he played for, Queen of the South, and then he finished in 2004 season with Elgin City. A true man, a true legend, and probably, I would say, in my lifetime, and I've been going to see Rangers since 1966, and I would say that he is the best goalkeeper, me personally, that I've seen play for Rangers. And that's my 5 minutes of hope.
Not quite. Wikipedia is not always your friend, GFG.
No, I looked different ones and
that. Andy Gorham, Andy Lewis Gorham, was born in Bury, and he played 260 games for Rangers, 184 league games.
I meant to say league games.
All right. Okay. Okay. Not bad. All right. What did you make of that? What did you make of that? Was that you, GFK?
I'm on Family Fortunes. Was there a survey to be answered there?
That's Britain's Got Talent for you.
Aye. Right, what we're going to do is GB's going to go, we'll have a chat, we'll open up the phone lines, and obviously any Rangers subject tonight. Old School Blue is going to put a wee poll up on Facebook once GB's went, and we've had a chat amongst ourselves. We're going to bring Fox in to get his views on the two goalkeepers as well at some point. He's a man of great wisdom, but very impressive, GFK, well done. 5 minutes is quite a long time when you're talking, mate.
Aye, 5 minutes is a long time you're talking about one person, apart from if you were talking about yourself, you know.
Done well, GFK, well done, mate.
Cheers, buddy.
Some of my best stories lasted 2 minutes. Right, okay.
As long as that.
Right, are you ready, GB?
Ready to go.
Right, this will be the first time you go to talk for a long while.
I know. quite nervous, mate. Quite nervous.
All right, okay. Right, I'll count you in. 1, 2, 3.
Good evening, and I'm going to talk about our current goalkeeper, Alan James McGregor. Hopefully that's right. Place of birth was Edinburgh, and he is at a height of 6 foot. Alan McGregor, it was signed as a 16-year-old to Rangers in 1998, an actual shining light to our youth academy to show our youth players what you can actually achieve with hard work. Started off getting loaned out to St Johnstone in 04-05, where he probably had his apprenticeship, I would say. Had man and match performances there at St Johnstone. Came home to Rangers, and it was actually a starter under McLeish, but then McLeish decided to sign, if you remember him, Ronald Waters, and he became the number one for a while there, which I think actually upset McGregor at the time, which was a bit unfair because he was actually playing well. But as things go, Le Guen came in, and injuries came in, and McGregor got back in his goal. Continued on playing to the highest level for us. Sadly, when he got to the time of the 2012, he had to join Besiktas, playing at top level in Turkey. Then moving on to the top leagues in Hull City, playing in the Premier League, and another move on to Cardiff as well. But overall, with his career, Alan McGregor has been one of the kind of players that, again, like Gorham, has all stepped up to the mark in all firm games for me. He's a decorated club record appearances in UEFA competitions, sitting at a staggering 670 career appearances. He's been a part of our title-winning squad of 55, and for me, the save against Griffiths at New Year probably won us that title, to be fair. Another title that he did win was the Samaras penalty save. I do believe that save as well gave us a title. He hasn't won as much titles as Gorham, but he's sitting at 4 titles, 3 Scottish Cups and 5 League Cups. He's had a Player of the Year in 2021. Umpteen Player of the Months. He's been in the Team of the Year 08-09, 09-10, 11-12, and the 18-19 and 2021 seasons. A great national team career as well. 49 caps. That's from the under-21s to the senior team. A bit of an upset with Ferguson and what was it, Boozegate they called it. But Craig Levein seen the light and seen how good our keeper was and brought him back into the fold, where he was able to show everybody what he was actually made of. We're coming back for that. What else can we talk about with him? He's performed at top levels in England. He's been featured in an FA Cup final, where unfortunately I lost 3-2. Umpteen victories at Parkhead. I think in fact when he came back, he got his first victory at Parkhead since 2010 with that save against Ryan Christie. He's just been an absolute... Oh.
That's your time up, GB. You enjoy that?
I did, mate, but it's, you can start mumbling on a wee bit. There's just so much to talk about with Alan. He's just been an absolute rock for Rangers, and what a servant he's been. Okay,
open up for a wee bit of debate amongst you now. At GFK, question to you first, and obviously it's about the opposition here. Alan McGregor's longevity at Rangers outstrips Andy's, yeah?
Yeah, of course it does. I'm not actually looked. I think league games, I think he's over 200, isn't he? In his two spells. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Maybe
that's he's over 200, aye.
I'll just give you the exact figure, mate, if you give me 1 second. Yep. League games, he's played a total of 299 league games, mate.
There you go, good set, aye.
Alan McGregor, 434 appearances. By the way, they have got one thing in common. They've made 1 substitute appearance. There you go.
There you go. I never knew that. Two fantastic goalkeepers, without a doubt.
Aye, that's it. We're not saying it. It's all about individual choice. For me, I think Andy Gorham, I think you were right. One of his greatest performances was at Ellen Road in the save against Van Hooijdonk. Alan McGregor, GB, I think Werder Bremen might have been Alan's greatest performance ever in the Rangers jersey.
Yep, aye. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And was very unlucky. What might have been that year if Alan McGregor hadn't hurt his ankle? Was it his ankle at Parkhead? When you never know. You know, he might not have saved the penalties in Florence. But a real good debate. Fantastic stats, top goalies. And see, when you look at it, what surprised me, GB, obviously Andy Gorham, apart from the last season, every year he was with us, he won the league, yeah?
Yep.
Alan McGregor's actually got more honours with us than Andy Gorham. I wouldn't have got that. But if you'd asked me that today before I looked, I wouldn't have got that. I wouldn't have got it. Does that surprise you, GB, then GFK?
That does surprise me, because see, when you think about Andy Gorham, you think about 9 in a row. That's the thing that pops out to you. So you think of him having 9 titles, but you forget that he did come in like Was it halfway through? Was it that right? Halfway through?
No, he played in. He was involved in six of them, mate.
6 of them. But even like McGregor's sitting with 4 titles now. 4.
Aye, and he's got 5. He wouldn't get a medal for 93, 94 when he was injured. GFK, yeah.
That's right, aye.
Mm-hmm. But he bounced back in 95, 96, which was the 8 in a row season, and the year that we won the Scottish Cup, the Laudrup final. He made 47 appearances, so he bounced back, yeah.
His appearances for Rangers are probably second to none goalkeeper wise. I mean, looking at goalkeeping history, Alan McGregor probably was near the top of that. I know. I mean, I don't know how far back you want to go, but his longevity was good, you know, and good to see him come back after the debacle of the
I'm talking about Andy Gorham come back for injury and made the appearances in 95, 96.
Oh, when Andy Gorham his injuries, aye.
He come back.
Actually, at that time, I thought Andy Gorham was finished.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think he was going to get hurt that because it was an overseer. Andy wasn't the most athletic player, and I think that's that. I thought at that time he might not get back play to the level he did, but he did. Fantastic. No bravery, unfounded bravery, mate. Absolutely fantastic goalkeeper for me. Yeah.
All right. One thing I will give Gorham, I had Alan McGregor, GB, if you don't mind. You might be a bit young to remember, but my old man told me about it when they changed the rules, GFK, and obviously the goal couldn't back up. Andy Gorham had to grow up and change his game because the rules of the game had changed. Yeah,
yeah,
adapt to that, and he was pretty good, but about his feet.
Andy Gorham was really good at the ball at his feet, mate. What I liked about Andy Gorham is his distribution. You know, passing out of the box and that rule change, he had to learn quick, mate. He had to learn very, very quick, and he did that. And I think going on to the Leeds United game, I mean, as I say, unfortunately, 99% is we're watching the telly, but that was a fantastic performance he put on that night. He kept Leeds United on his own. The one with Cantona was point blank, and he kept him out. Absolutely wonderful.
You'll know where I'm coming from. I think it was my Jers members that got the tickets that night.
Was it? Well, I suppose so. Aye. Was no Barlett. You've been in my Jers a long time because you were there.
Sorry, mate. I couldn't resist that. Right. Okay. GB. There's a lot of similarities between them and their Scotland careers. They both had problems with managers and their careers were broken, but in their time they were the two top goalies in the country. Alan McGregor's done it over a long number of years now, a lot longer than Andy had. And it'd been interesting to see what happened to our club if Alan would ever have left, mate. Yeah?
There was a couple of testing times, like it's sometimes you forget. Like I always just think of McGregor getting in when it was Le Guin, but when you actually look back and read about the whole time there, and he actually got the number 1 slot with McLeish, and then McLeish decided to do that with Waterreus, putting him as number 1. It could have really annoyed him that much that he was like, no, I'm good enough to be a number 1 now, and could have wanted to move on. But he stuck with it, and again, even with Le Guin thought he would put McGregor as third choice, and in Sod's Law with injuries, he became number 1 again, and he never really lost that position. And he kept. That's what I'm saying. We're keeping guys like Klaus, Waterreus, Lizette. Is it Lizette? Was one of the goalkeepers.
Well, I wouldn't call him a goalkeeper.
True. But like he's had to bide his time, but he's fought them all off. If you mean, and to be fair to him, if 2012 never happened, I think he would have been still Rangers number 1 throughout at the time. Ox, I think.
Okay, all right. Alan McGregor's played under Walter Smith 200 times, Steven Gerrard 156 times, Harry McCoy's 43 times, Paul Le Guen, surprisingly, 23 times, Alex McLeish 11, and Ian Durrant as caretaker once. Walter Smith, Andy Gorham, 1 manager, GFK.
1 manager, mate. That's all he played under, and he kept his loyalty to him. And I mean, we all know the antics of Andy off the field and that, but he's still stuck by him. And what a goalkeeper he was. But I mean, when a goalkeeper's running out to a player, you know, a lot of goalkeepers now are not happy about going down. But Andy was always brave. He was fearless, you know, and he just put himself right in the way of the boot. And for me, that's why I think he's the greatest goalkeeper I've seen in my lifetime. I'm going to watch Rangers. An absolutely wonderful goalkeeper.
Obviously, Alan McGregor's slightly bigger, GB, but there are no giants for goalkeepers, the two of them. I think Peter McGloy was bigger than the two of them put together.
No, Oxen, in like even at that, as Jeff K was saying about Gorham, that Alan's been brave as well. He always liked to come for the ball. Anybody that noises him up in the box, he's the first one to get him tell. One thing I do enjoy about Alan is he gets your defence told. See when they're not doing their jobs, he's right on top of them. And even in the early doors of Gerrard's tenure, I think that season was it 18-19, and we won our first All Firm game. And he basically told the players, he's like, we've not won anything yet. And everybody was like celebrating and all the rest of it. And he just basically went and told them, he says, no, we've not won anything yet. So, and it was after that was when obviously Dubai happened and stuff. But it just shows you where his professionalism was at. He knew that there was still a lot of hard work to do. So for me, the two great goalkeepers, very hard to split them. But for one thing, we've been working in that department that the two of them, like, basically have got a voodoo air Celtic when we play them. That's for sure.
I get that. Some fine performances against them, both goalkeepers. I get that. There's a lot of similarities there. Right, I'm going to bring Fox in, get his views, if that's all right with you two gentlemen.
Yeah, Baron.
Yep.
Yes, Mr. Fox, thoughts on the arguments that the two boys have briefly put forward?
Aye, both good arguments for me, but what the two goalkeepers had, and they had in abundance for me, was good handling, great reflexes, good positional sense, and great agility. I think that's what makes a goalkeeper for me, and they had that in abundance. They were both lucky at times in their career that they had great centre halves in front of them, and had a good understanding with them. I don't know really much more. I would say that the boys haven't, in terms of like character and desire to win, then they both had that in abundance as well. So a very tight call to see who people think was the best. I think Gorham got it in a poll run about 2000, the year 2000. There was a poll amongst Rangers players and Gorham got it. But since then, McGregor's had to deal with another advancement in football, and that's the new ball. It takes swerves and moves, particularly it's a lot lighter and moves faster, so he's handled that part of the game as well as Gorham had to change his game. So hard choice for people.
Okay, are you giving us a clue about where you're swimming, or are you sitting on the fence?
I like McGregor.
Okay. I'll let JFK come back with that one then.
No, I can't argue with the elder statesman's points there. You know, Gorham for me just he shades it. You know, Alan McGregor is a fantastic goalkeeper, but for me, I've got to just, if I was saying 9 out of 10 and 10 out of 10, it'd be 10 out of 10 for Andy Gorham, 9 out of 10 for Alan McGregor. There's no much in it for me, mate.
All right, okay. As I said, Old School Blue's going to put a poll on Facebook. We'll get the results. Bit of fun. So it is a bit of fun. We'll try to pass the international break. And obviously, we didn't know that the speculation was going to be about our club. But aye, well done, boys. Well done.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, Ox.
Well done, GB.
Cheers, JFK.
The poll was up on Facebook and Twitter, and the poll will do the talking. That's it. End of.
Yep.
Yeah, all right. No dummies spitting out. Right?
No.
I'm talking to you, GB.
Yeah, no, I'll keep it in, mate.
All right. Okay. We'll get these phone lines open, see if there's anybody want to come in and join us. What do you think, boys?
Get it going.
Let's go for it.
Let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
All right. You look at things in your memory, plays tricks on you, GFK. And I couldn't remember that season when Gorham hardly played. 93, 94. He'd only played 10 games in total. Yep. 8 in the league and 2 in the Scottish Cup. I forgot that I think it was a knee injury from memory. Right. Only 18 the next season, And then also when I looked at Alan McGregor, again your memory plays tricks me, and I went, really, did he start so young? And made his debut as a 20-year-old. I couldn't remember that nearer, Honestly, I was 2002. He was 20 years of age, which is really young for a goalkeeper. All right, it was away to Forfar. 6-0. But two fantastic goalkeepers. And listen, if there is a winner, you can't put you can only put a bit of paper between the two of them. GB.
No, again, I was a young boy when Gorham was in goals and that, and you just remember that save that JFK was talking about with Pierre Van Hooydonk when he was doing that fist pumping, and he said something else out his mouth as well. I can mind laughing as a wee boy and that, watching that. But for me, like, McGregor's actually only 3 years older than me, so it's kind of, I grew up aging the same as him, kind of thing, and watching the career. And what I say, it's just a shining light for our youth academy. I mean, this is what you can do with a Rangers career. What I say is, I certainly think if 2012 just continued on as normal, he would have been probably even surpassing what he's sitting at with his career appearances for Rangers. It's brilliant, but don't get me wrong, he's went away, he's played at highest level in Turkey, played at highest level in England, played at international career and stuff like that. He's captained Rangers. That's what I was surprised about. I didn't even know he had a cap for Rangers. I was in 08. But it's great looking back, and you're splitting hairs. You really are. If the two of them on Old Firm games, when you see them in goal, you're totally confident. It doesn't matter who's out in the field or whatever. As long as one of them's in goal, you feel as though you can win the game. It's just.
I get it. I get it. You get confidence in the two of them.
Mm-hmm. What about you? What about you, Ox? I mean, like is there specific moments where you think McGregor's? I mean, what I was saying about the Griffiths save and stuff like that. For me, that was a major turning point in the league for me. And then obviously the Samaras save and stuff like that. That was another big moment. A lot of pressure there today, they kind of things.
Yeah.
Andy Gorham had performances at maybe Pittodrie in games. I think Mike Catley scored the goal and during Walter's time. But a lot of the times GFK Aberdeen were our main rivals.
Aye. Well, I mean, I know a couple of the games you're talking about, Pittodrie, we were there. And it was absolutely outstanding. And the thing is, he hated them as much as he hated the other ones. I know, the puddle drinkers and that. He just loved it. And as GB said there, I mean, obviously it's not repeatable on the show and that, but anybody that can read lips, you can tell what he actually says to Van Hooydonk. But the Sheep were our biggest rivals at that time, I would say. And Andy Gorham performed fantastically. And and Alan McGregor as well. I mean, when Alan McGregor was loaned out, nobody actually thought much about it. You know, it was just another young Rangers goalkeeper getting loaned out, and a wee bit, I suppose, a bit like McCrory. And I hope the same thing happens to young McCrory. He's been out to different teams and he's been at the end of a couple of doings and that. But Alan McGregor come back for that, and we know it's history now. No, he's a Rangers legend, but aye, he deserves a place in the Rangers history books, mate. Definitely.
I think they both do, you know.
Well, they both do, aye.
I think they both do, you know.
I agree with you, JFK, with the McCrory. I think if he can just shadow McGregor,
Yeah.
then I'm hoping that that's going to be our next Alan McGregor through him, because he did, again, he performed in the last Old Firm game there for us, so there's hope there.
Yep.
Do you want the exit polls?
There you go.
The exit polls on Facebook: 85% Andy Gorham, 65% for Gorham on Twitter. It's just the early exit polls. GFK don't, GB don't get carried away. It should swing both ways, just like GFK.
Is that me getting into a second term, like? I'll get my inaugural speech going.
Mm-hmm.
I think we'll be joined. And by the way, he is. If he gets elected, he is open for corruption. Right? Okay, we'll be joined. I think we'll be joined by Boy Star. How we doing, Boy Star?
Evening, guys. Long time no hear. Sees.
Right, everyone all right? You're old.
Just problems with my man. Our old age. That's all. She's not well. You know.
Sorry to hear that, Blue.
Just as you were talking, am I allowed to comment on the goalkeepers?
Of course, mate. Floor's yours.
I agreed with the comments with both guys. What I would say is, obviously, my generation was much like yourselves and JFK, Ox.
Jerry Dawson, you went for?
Kind of. You couldn't really see by Andy Gorham. What I would say is, I always thought he was a dying swan when it came to long-range shots. If it was point-blank shot stopping, I don't think there was anybody better in the world for a 2 or 3 year. My argument for McGregor would certainly be, without any hesitation, McGregor played with less as good a players as what Gorham did. Of that, there's no doubt, because when Gorham played under Smith, at that time he was able to go, let's be honest, guys, we had some of the best flipping, but I still maintain we had the best midfield, and probably even better than Barcelona and Real Madrid at the time. I honestly do believe that, because I think the 4 or 5, even the two guys that we had as subs, funny enough, 2 guys and the other one, I couldn't see by that midfield. So I think on that charge, Gorham certainly had an advantage. He played with better players, but both of them for shot stopping, etc. Against McGregor, I would say, no doubt about it, his kicking out is absolutely shocking. Still is. He kicks it out the park 9 times out of 10. Very rarely finds a player. But for shot storm, the 2 guys were outstanding, and they always have been.
And no the biggest poster. The 2 of them are the biggest, are they?
That's right. Gorham is very well. As you said there, I don't think there's much in it. I think is McGregor only an inch and a half, maybe bigger than Gorham.
3 inches
for
tall.
Gorham's
5'9". Yeah.
That's right. He was quite a wee guy. For goalkeepers nowadays, you're talking in your 6'2s, your 6'3s. Some of them are even bigger than that. They can come out and grab balls out the air, no bother. On news, they were gaffer. Ox, I've got to be honest, I'm absolutely gutted. Absolutely gutted. I didn't think for a minute there was any chance of him going there. And I get the attraction of the Premier League, we all do. But I genuinely thought he would have seen he'd have wanted to thing be hold back another title. I really did. I'm just gutted.
JFK. JFK. Well, GB.
Back again.
On you go, JFK, you're there, mate.
Sorry, my mute when I work there. A lot of things that Blue Star said there made a lot of sense regarding Alan McGregor and that. But going on to the gaffer situation, I mean, I know how you're feeling. You're saying you're gutted, Blue Star, but like, these things, we move on, mate, and we just get on with it. The biggest thing we got to do this season is win 56, and to make sure that if the gaffer does go, and we all know it's just speculation and it's rife. It's everywhere, fake books got it rife that he's already signed, but we'll not say anything until Rangers actually make a statement about he's been spoken to or whatever. But I'm not saying I'd be gutted if he lost, because we got to see the Rangers too long now. If he goes, and he goes with our best wishes, and let's get behind the next manager. And I know maybe we shouldn't be speculating, but if we were going to have a new manager, my new manager's team would be Giovanni Van Bronckhorst and Barry Ferguson.
Can I come in there, Ox?
Aye.
Ox, there was two names that I've been pummeled with all day. One was Lampard, and again, Lampard hasn't got a lot of experience. Van Bronckhorst certainly had a bit more experience, and Jimmy hit the nail on the head. I come on here 10 times, as you know. I know for a fact Gerrard was twice he spent essentially he was going to appoint Barry Ferguson in backroom staff, and both times he was offered jobs elsewhere. What happened in between, I don't know. Barry Ferguson should be employed in some capacity at Ibrox, because we all know he's not just a diehard. He was one of the best players we've ever seen.
Yeah.
So on that score, yeah, I think he should certainly be appointed in some capacity. Going to a manager, Ox, honestly, Douglas Park's now tweeted that we're managers away, so that's a gimme. That's definite. What I would say is, if we're going for a new man,
wait and see. I mean, it's speculation.
I know what you're saying. All I'm saying is, see, thinking of another manager, to be perfectly honest with you, do you go for a foreign guy? Or, me, preferably, I would have preferred actually a Scots guy with some kind of a thing towards Rangers. Only in the sense, I still maintain, I'm not saying you have to be born Rangers. What I'm saying is, I think you've got to have some kind of feel for the club. I really do, and I think it's so important. And I know Gerrard didn't, but he grew into it, and I get that. And I get that in football nowadays. MD can go into any club and they can get a feel for the club. But have I got a name? No, I haven't. I really haven't. I couldn't even tell you half the ones that suit a job, because they're coming up 10 a penny. But I thank the guy for getting us 55. We know that the doldrums that we were in when he took the job were, and if he's definitely away, I wish him all the best. I'm sure. I'd be mega surprised, I've got to be honest, Ox, because I thought he would have tried his best to at least get us another title. I did.
We'll see where it takes us. A day's a long time in politics, GFG.
Yeah, of course. I said earlier on, I think the difference here, when we talked about when Souness left to go to Liverpool, he made a big mistake. But I think the reason he moved for Rangers to Liverpool was because of the stature that he had at Liverpool. And then when he came to Rangers, and we were the dominant team at that time, so he had a lot of stock in front of him. I mean, he'd done a lot of great things. Three Champions League or European Cups, various other cups, and what he'd done with Rangers. But in this instance, Steven Gerrard's won one title with Rangers, and he's done the Liverpool youth team. And look, I don't think he would walk into the Liverpool team even in 3 years' time, no matter what he'd done at Rangers. I think they're looking for somebody with a bit more experience. And before anybody shouts me down and say, well, what kind of experience do you think he needs? It's Rangers' way. Yes, I can understand that. But I think he needs to have better longevity. And I think if he does go down south, and if Aston Villa's his preferred choice, then that gives him that stepping stone. And as I've said before, my only fear about him going is that he takes some of our better players with him in January.
Listen, I've got a simple view, and I'll say this. I said it last night, and I'll say it again tonight, GB. If anybody at our club doesn't want to be there, shake hands and part the ways.
Mm-hmm. Aye, 100%, Ox, because at the end of the day, Rangers will still be here long after anybody else, so it's that kind of way. And by the way, it might be, I'm not saying a blessing in disguise, it is, for me, it's a bad time for us to be losing a manager, but the team has been a bit funny this season, and I don't know what it is, whether it's been done to the money or players that are a bit restless or whatever. So maybe a new guy coming in.
Wait a minute, GB. You're saying they're funny, all right, but get knocked out by Malmo. We talked about a guy last night, last few weeks, Walter Smith, who had some disasters in Europe as well in the qualifying stages, some great competitions as well. We're sitting top of the league, but the semi-final of the Cup, we play Hibs to get in the final. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Where's the funny bit? It might not be. We keep going back to last year, but I think it is. I think it was Stevie said Albert, particularly bands that drum. That's one. Last year's a season once in maybe 50 years. You can't compare it with last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
It's more. It's just more. I think the performances. That's what I'm
We're not
surprised
played
about.
well, but we
No.
talked about. You talked about guys. We're talking about Gorham 9 in a row. Alan McGregor.
Yeah.
See if you looked at 2008, 2009, some of these
Aye.
seasons. You look at 2093, 94. There's disastrous results in
Yep.
both of them. With
Yep.
both of them in goal.
Yeah.
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 We've lost one league game this season. One league game.
You talked about losing games, Oxy. I mean, we spoke about it here last week. Was the one against Motherwell? The year where we get gubbed 3-0 at Fir Park.
Aye,
Yeah.
and that
You know-
ended up making it Walter Smith because we won the league and he went.
Aye, that's right. No, so I mean, no, but I think the thing that sticks in a lot of people's throat, and what I've been reading and hearing and things like that, is that after the European game a couple of weeks ago, when whoever it was that asked him the question, and he gave a kind of a funny answer about, do I look unhappy? Do I look blah blah blah?
Emma Dodds, it was Emma Dodds.
Emma Dodds. I think that sticks in a lot of people's throat. They're all jumping on the wagon and saying, but look at me, said it. He was happy at Rangers, you know. And some people out there are, and it's usually it's the keyboard warriors that are. Some of the comments I get about Steven Gerrard are absolutely disgusting, you know. I don't want to see him go, but if he does go, then he goes with my best wishes. And as you've said here, Oxia, we move on and we put the next man into his seat and see where he takes us. He's gave us a fantastic roller coaster ride the last three and a half
Yeah.
seasons. And let's hope he's there to continue it.
The king is dead. If it happens. If
it happens, yeah, definitely.
Jordan's joining us. I hope he's in a better mood than he was last night. Jordan, what you want to talk about?
Well, I did have my suspicions last night, and I think they're coming through now, boys. I'm kind of resigned to kind of losing them now. I've kind of wanted to talk about, because when he does go, who I think the odds are and who the next manager is going to be, to be fair. From what I'm seeing in now, a lot of people are saying Van Bronckhorst, apparently.
He's going to be.
So I've been scouted.
He's out of work this now. He's going to be linked. Possibility.
Oxtear, the other one, it's heavily linked, and I'm sorry, I hope it's wrong, as McInnes. I may be wrong, that's only my personal view, but I'd rather see Van Bronckhorst, but there you go.
We'll see, mate. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Yeah, just to let you know, GFK, 92% Gorham on Facebook, 70% Gorham on Twitter, and Ibrox Loyal is working out the stats for us. Yeah, he's doing it.
You know, look, GB, when you're good, pal.
I know, he can't. It's what they say, it is before.
Rises to the top, pal. Rises to the top.
Can we start a new poll and see who's better in Europe? who's a better keeper in Europe?
Who would win if I said who's the fattest?
No,
You're not supposed to say Oxtear. It's not me.
No, anymore.
Maybe you should put a poll up and say how many people have got the bed stops. How much?
Who's the best looking?
Hey, Tom Cruise.
I think GB might win that one by a distance out of the two of them, mate. I'm not sure.
No, the two goalkeepers, I mean, Ox.
I've been told I'm a look-alike for Jack Duckworth.
Right, Jordan, look, Steven Gerrard being Indian era, it'll be sad for us all. He's done a great job for us. He's took us to it. He's moved us up a level. But who's to say somebody's going to come in and improve? We don't know. GFK, to go back to him, when Graham Souness walked out the door, there was similar mutants. People thought it was the end of an era, the end of the world. Yeah.
We were sitting in the Roseville drowning our sorrows, and we couldn't believe it. And we all said the same as David Murray, you know, I think he'll regret it. But what happened 6 weeks later, you know? We beat the Sheep 2-0 at Ibrox, we won the league. And we were back up there again. Then Walter took us in that fantastic journey, which will forever live in our hearts, and what he did for Rangers, you know. And so, it goes on. Look, we've all seen some right rank rotten managers for Rangers, but we've seen some actually legends. So, Steven Gerrard goes with the legend status because of the 55. But if he goes, then we go on with it. If he stays, he'll get the same support as we're getting him the new. So, but we just need to wait and see how it transpires before the weekend. And then we'll take it from there. But there's no use speculating. It's good to talk about it, but ain't feelings on it. Me personally, I'd like to see, as I said before, Van Bronckhorst, Barry Ferguson and Neil McCann get some sort of a title in there. And that's just my personal opinion. I hope it doesn't turn out to the guy that seems to be doing a lot of media on Rangers TV is would you call him, it came from Aberdeen, McInnes.
Yeah, McInnes.
I hope they're not silly enough to go down that road. But anyway, we're speculating. As it stands now, Steven Gerrard is still our manager until Rangers tell us otherwise. So we can all just talk about what we think otherwise on that.
Right. All right, we'll be joined by Alex Wishaw. Evening, Alex.
Good evening, Ox here.
Good to hear from you, mate. How you doing?
Right,
I'm
Alex.
fine, GB. First and foremost, great presentation with the two guys there, with the two goalkeepers.
Cheers, buddy.
First class. I find it very hard to split them myself, to be quite truthful. Both have got so much, what do you call it, great attributes. We're just blessed with two great goalkeepers. But fair play to the two of them for the presentations. First class. First class.
Who would you have swung for?
I find it very difficult because I could pick out games a way back with Andy Gorham, Leeds United, up Aberdeen, that game you were talking about earlier when Mick Haley scored. They were a shot for Ian Jess for about 30 years out. How he managed to stop it was unbelievable. Fantastic. Top performances, and against Celtic, as you said, against Big Peter Van Hooydonk and these guys. Then you jump out to Al McGregor. The games against Celtic in Europe is very, very difficult. But I'm just great with two great goalkeepers like that.
Come on, Alex, get off that fence. You've got one vote. Come on.
I'll say Andy Gorham.
All right, okay, that's fine. GB, tell me what you think about him.
That's shocking, Alex. You've got your man that gave you 55. You're going against the guy that gave you 55.
I know. But what do you call it? Praising you right up there by your presentation is very good, but I've been forced into you there. You stuck me in a corner, like. I can go either one way or the other, but I'll say Gorham and that's it. Right?
Nice to in the back, GB.
Can I go back to a point you just made there about the like league status and stuff like that? See, I touched on it with Alan McGregor, and you're right. See that season. I think that was 08-09, maybe with the Samaras one when he saved that. That was a tight season. That was basically 3 points that flipped us in front, and it kept that basically allowed us to charge on and win the league that year. So you're right. I mean, I was probably being a wee bit pessimistic there about the squad currently. I mean, it's probably right that it should be tight at the top. I mean, and it can swing either way. I mean, even at that time, you're like that, saying to yourself, "Oh God, are we going to win the league?" And yet McGregor steps up and makes that save, and you're like, "Right, that's us on our way." So you're right. This season you could really put it down to being a normal season, couldn't you?
Listen, last season was special, and we know that, and with the points and the goals conceded and all that. I mean, I might see it, but you don't see it in your lifetime again. You know what I mean? Alex, for my shot, but it's just a special season, wasn't it?
Unbelievable. They'll never be called again what we done last year. The pressure was on that team to deliver that into the bargain. And for the away and win it with 25 points. And that takes me on about the Stevie Gerrard thing, you know. The speculation and that just is rife, as we're all reading about him. But what I will say is, if he does go, he gets a blessing with me. Absolutely, he's been an ambassador for our club. He took our club out when we were in the doldrums there, and he's built it right up. Okay, 1 trophy out of 6. You could honestly say the first 6, it was a rebuilding job with the team. The runs we've had in Europe's unbelievable. I'm just back for Bromby myself there, and it's been absolutely wonderful. And I wish the guy every success in the future. His family stayed in England, and if that's maybe the thing that's doing it, I know. We don't really know. I hope he's still our manager, but if he goes with our full blessings. And thank him very much. He gave me the 55, and I'm a happy Rangers player.
Do you know something like that? I mean, I can't speak for Steven Gerrard, but it doesn't matter what happens. I think that for coming from somebody like yourself, such a gent, mate, speaks testament about not just yourself, but about Gerrard as well. And I get what you're saying. Where he took his fee, but we always want to win, and we played Aberdeen in the semi-final. We beat City Cup front, and we were saying, "Oh, what's happening here?" And then we get knocked out the cups, and then we fell apart in the league, and we against Kilmarnock, and then we come back the next season. We were even better in form, and then we blew the cup final against them, one of the most one-sided cup finals you've ever seen. You're thinking, "Oh, this is never going to happen," and then we fell apart in the league again, and lost to Hearts and Hamilton, and you're thinking, "Oh, what's going to happen here?" But slowly but surely, and then last season came, and then he's doing all that. You're right, Alec. He improved us in Europe, and he took us for a low base to maybe up 3 rungs up the ladder. But who's to say the next guy comes in might not take us even further up the ladder, Alex?
Well, this is the thing now. But there's a foundation there now. The next manager that comes in, if this is going to be happening, and there's players there. I've heard people saying that this one is going to sign this and this one will leave. Well, just look at the positive side. If he can hold the team, right, if he does go away and we hold the players, Gary McAllister, the family's Rangers daft. That's one you got to remember, I know. Right? He stays down in Leeds. All his family's up here in Newton Bellsall, or in that area. They're Rangers daft, these folk. Michael Beale, you don't know what's going to happen. But this guy has come in and took us to a level I never expected to be. I totally love the guy to bits, and it breaks my heart to see him gone. But see the bottom line, Rangers Football Club, we've seen it over the years. Players have went, and managers have went. The club will still go on. All I'm saying, on behalf of me and my supporters club, we thank him in the bottom of my heart for everything he's done for Rangers Football Club.
Yeah. Ogs, can I say one thing before I need to go, mate?
Yes.
Can I just say, following on for Alex now, the likes of me, yourself, JFK, there was a couple of seasons back there and we moaned sometimes awful about some of our results under Stevie G. Can I just say, after all the tenure that he's been there, in my lifetime, and I loved Walter to bits the same as the rest of you, but I've never heard a better guy, ambassador for our club, talking to us with regards to the press. I thought the guy was impeccable. Every single time he was interviewed, he never lost a heat. He always kept his powder in check, and he always answered. I think to the press, to the media, etc., I think the guy was absolutely outstanding. And if he goes, yes, he goes with our blessing without a shadow of a doubt. It's good speaking to you guys. I hope you enjoy the rest of your night.
Cheers, Blue.
Cheers, Blue.
Cheers, Blue.
You cheered up yet, Jordan?
Sorry.
You cheered up yet?
I'm just shocked in this early. I'm shocked. I just think it's came in such quick notice, to be honest. But I think I've seen comments about people calling him a snake and all that.
I've seen that, mate.
Oh, that's just...
It's horrible.
That's not even fan behaviour.
It's better about it does him, mate. You listen, mate. What did you call them? GFK? Keyboard warriors, yeah, that was
keyboard warriors. Just and that's a better word that Jordan's used. They're just snakes, you know, and these are the same fans. Look, I've always said on here, and I've had it in the neck in here a few times because you're better saying what you feel when, and I can take it because I'm really thick-skinned in that. But you're allowed to be critical. But see some of the rubbish that you're seeing tonight. These people are just disgusting human beings, if you could even call them that, Jordan. So 100%.
Problem as well, guys, you're a lot older than me. I wasn't still alive when what happened with Souness when he left. Was that in 1986, was it? I think that happened.
No, in 1981.
Souness came in 86, 85, 86.
Yeah, so I was still no born when he left Rangers, and obviously Walter Smith took over, but I was young enough to remember that, so I'm only just going from Gerard's perspective. But at the end of the day, Rangers football clubs and the fans are the top. No man, nothing is bigger than the football club and the fans, in my opinion. And that's at the end of the day.
Yeah. Well said, mate. Right, okay. Get yourselves on mute, because we're going to have a tune.
Ever since I recall, I have followed football, and ingrained in my heart are the Rangers FC. Through good and the bad times, of happy or sad, it will always be Rangers for me. For when I was lost, I was led by the hand down the Paisley Road West. I will never forget that beautiful sight of the red, blue, and white. From that day, I'd be Rangers for life. And I vowed to my dad, if I would have a lad, I would show him the way, as he did on that day. And so here I stand with young Lyle by the hand, after walking down Paisley Road West. For when I was lost, I was led by the hand down the Paisley Road West. I will never forget that beautiful sight of the red, blue, and white. From that day, I'd be Rangers for life. From that day, I'd be Rangers for life. There's a great sense of pride that I feel deep inside as I'm watching the Jazz with my father and son. And it's sure safe to say, at the end of the game, win or lose, we will all follow on. For when I was lost, I was led by the hand down the Paisley Road West. I will never forget that beautiful sight of the red, blue, and white. From that day, I'd be Rangers for life. From that day, I'd be Rangers for life. From that day, I'd be Rangers for life. From that day, I'd be Rangers for life.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
All right, last word for you, Jordan. Before you go, mate, we've got some more people coming in. Need your thoughts, mate. And just tell us what goalie I went for Gorham. Obviously, you never saw because you're ages myself or McGregor.
What was it? Sorry, I didn't hear that. Sorry.
What goalie would you went for, Gorham or McGregor?
Well, I think, obviously, for my generation, most people would say McGregor, but I think overall, probably maybe Gorham just edges it, I still think.
All right, okay, mate. And your last thoughts before you go, mate?
Stick together, Bears and Barretts. Yep. No one's. I'll just repeat back what I said a minute ago. No one's bigger than the football club at the end of the day.
Well said, mate. Well said.
We move on regardless, and whoever comes in. And at the end of the day, I'm still more than confident we'll be successful. We are the people, and no surrender at the end of the day.
Well said, young man. You have turned that frown upside down. You'll be all right, yeah.
Aye, we'll get over it, guys. We'll get over it.
Aye. Cheers, Jordan.
Yeah. Right, guys. See you later. Take care.
Good, buddy.
All right, we've been joined by Brian, I think. Evening, Brian.
How you doing?
All right, mate. You?
Aye, not bad. Just reflecting on everything that's been discussed tonight.
All right, what's your thoughts, mate? What's your thoughts?
Well,
Was
firstly,
this
Andy
your
Gormall.
first time on, Brian?
No, I've been on before, but that was before it was updated to the new system of taking callers. So I've phoned it a few times. Firstly, Andy Gormall all day long, but we'll not get back to that. As far as the new management team, if Gerrard leaves, the one thing that Gerrard did bring to us was a modern way of looking at this. So if we get like Van Bronckhorst and McCann and Ferguson, there's three people that kind of do the same job, whereas Gerrard brought us in people who are looking at like who's going to sign people, looking at things like XG, all these kind of things that's really modern. So I think we need to get somebody who's still got that modern way of looking at things. But that's not really the main point. The main point, I think, is that, and I know this might not sit well with everybody, but we need to be a bit ruthless here as a club, because like it or not, Steven Gerrard right now is looking at his best interest and what he thinks is going to get him the Liverpool job. And we need to look at our best interests of, well, how much are they, Aston Villa, going to pay us? So, yes, we all wish Steven Gerrard well, but if he wants to take the whole backroom with him, then they have to pay us for that. Because
I'm sure, Brian, that will all be written into the contract.
Yeah.
Apparently
when Stevie G came in, mate, and he was negotiating the contracts, when he was bringing these people in, Stevie G was negotiating for a position of strength, and all these exits and all the things will be wrote in. I don't doubt that for a minute. If I know, I would question their agent.
Apparently, that Steven Gerrard's got, they're saying between 3 million and 4.5. I've seen it down to like 2.5, going up to 4.5 for his own. The backroom contract, the backroom staff have the same contracts, because there's a big difference between Steven Gerrard leaving, because, I mean, for all, like, Steven Gerrard is a manager in the sense of being a manager, but there's all the other people there with the skill sets to do the jobs that they need to do. Whereas if we were just to lose Gerrard, we could replace him with somebody as long as the background staff are there. And I don't want to bring up the other mob, but they got £10 million when this happened to them. And if this happens to us for 3, I'm just like, what's happening that we are just always seem to never be able to, like, we're always seem to get exploited in these situations.
Yeah, that's a great
point. A little bit.
But it's what's in the contract, mate. Yeah,
right.
It's what's in the contract. The exit notice, and if that's been brought in his initial contract and it's been left there because that's what he's negotiated, there's nothing we can do to change that.
Yeah,
I totally agree, but we did negotiate a new contract with him.
Mm-hmm. And I might have said that's the exit clause in it before I sign.
Yeah. So who at Rangers is looking at these things to think about the long term? Because this is the thing that gets me about. I know, like I say, like Steven Gerrard has got the right to go after what he wants to do, and he wants to get a Liverpool job, and that's fine. But let's be honest, this is a £40 million season for us, and this is going to be a big upheaval. And 40 million means a heck of a lot to us right now. I mean, like, and for him to walk out right now, okay, he's fighting his own corner for the Liverpool job, but we need to fight ours too, because £40, if we win the league and get that instant Champions League money of 40 million, that changes everything for Rangers. And we've been through so much, and I don't want to swear, but so much nonsense that I can understand why people are very angry and passionate about what's going on right now, because he's looking after him and we need to look after us.
And by the way, this is only my view, and Stevie G's no went yet. He's no went anyway at the moment. And the headlines have changed a wee bit in Sky Sports as we speak. But talking about the Villa job, and he's not mentioned as strongly, but things change all the time. Oh, there's no smoke without fire, some people will say. And some of the medias have got it a done deal. We'll see. All come out in the wash. And I'm sure that the exit notice and his backroom staff, they've come in as a team. And unfortunately for us, I get your point, GB, that we're going to be exposed because the chances are they'll all leave together. But if they do, and we'll have to deal with that, they've negotiated contracts for a position of strength. And unfortunately, that's what we'll have to deal with. GB.
Yeah, Alex, I mean, the initial probably contact that we made with Gerrard, there would have probably been something set up for him, knowing that Rangers was always got to be a stepping stone, and even we knew that when he came, it was always got to be a stepping stone to somewhere. Just probably didn't think it was going to be that soon. If that is the case, if that's what,
some people would say he stayed longer than they thought.
True. It could, and by the way, it could have flipped on him. Like I says, if nothing happened last season, then it would have definitely been away, and I don't think we would have been as up in arms about it if nothing happened last season. But I think it's just because we've seen how happy he was when we won the title and stuff like that, and he said there was a lot more to come, and he's hungered for it, and he wanted to have big talks with the board. And by the way, this might come back down to the board's fault, because maybe the board promised him something in the summer. We never know. You know what I mean? But that is what it is. It is what it is.
All right, aye. Listen, it's speculation at the moment. They smoke without fire, as I said, some people say, but it makes it interesting for the show, Alex.
It certainly does. It's, as you say, it covers up a big story of the East End of Glasgow. So it's making the front and back pages about Steven Gerrard. So you wonder if that's the agenda and all behind it all. But as I said before,
you're a very sensible man. That thought never crossed my mind.
it's just stunned everybody how it's happening, that what's going on. And young Jordan there, the young boys in the supporters club, they're the exact same. They feel the exact same as young Jordan. They're absolutely devastated. Well, my boys there, man, they're doing an all and it's not even been called out properly. But there you go. That's so much the feeling that I've got for the guy. He's come in there. Aye, okay, some of the performances this year's not been very good. We've said it umpteen times in that, but when you look at it, we're still top of the league here. You're in the semi-final of a cup. You're one game away if you beat Sparta. If you beat them by 2 goals, you've qualified for the last 16. So let's be a bit more positive here. And if he does go, as I say, we'll get somebody else in there that'll just need to pick the mantle up. And if Rangers Football Club we're talking about here, it's no some wee junior team or anything like that. There are guys out there, candidates are wanting this Rangers job. And we'll just need to take it when it goes, and what happens after that will be. But we've got to get faith in who's going to come in if he's away. And that's the bottom line on it.
If small word, but a big meaning. But we'll see. We'll see. Brian, the season so far, some of the performances, as GB pointed out, have they been brilliant this year? But we're sitting in a reasonable place.
Welcome to the Tesco mobile voicemail service. The person...
Carry on, Brian.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And that's a good point there, because at the end of the day, Rangers are bigger than any manager. And we'll move on. And at the end of the day, it's players that win the league. And we've got the players now. That's the difference in the position we are now. Rangers are a very attractive position. And if I can be honest, looking forward, like everything changes. England's biggest, it used to be Italy, it used to be Spain, it was Germany. But when things move on and we go towards maybe a European league, Rangers are going to become a monster again. So Rangers are always going to be an attractive job. So I'm not worried about the Rangers are going to be. I'm just worried that we don't want to let nostalgia, like this is turning into a business deal now, and we need to make sure that we are trying to do business end as best as we can. That's the only point I was saying, because it's a huge season for us. If we get the Champions League next year and get that £40 million, then that's a game changer for us. It's a game changer. It puts us way back to way. I mean, it just erases everything. It's amazing.
It's interesting to see how that pans out, because the trouble is, it helps the club. There's no doubt money helps the club, but if you get that windfall, GFK, and you go for a player, a £5 million player might become 10 million because they know you've got that money. And
yeah. It's Russian roulette, mate. Really. It's Russian roulette, because it's all right saying that. I mean, as Rangers fans, we're going to win the league. We wouldn't be going to see Rangers if we didn't think that. But it's not a gimme, you know, and that's where the Russian roulette comes into the situation. I mean, he's maybe thinking it's all ifs, buts and maybes. We might win the league, we might get into the Champions League, we might get the 40 million, we might not get the 40 million. Right? And he's obviously thinking to himself if he does move, right? And he's thinking, well, Aston Villa could be a or whatever other club in the Premier League could be a stepping stone for me. So, as it's business now, it's all to do with business, what kind of money anybody's willing to give Gerrard and the backroom staff if they decide to go. So, I think we should take out the equation, the 40 million at the end of the season. We've got to think of the here and now. But the here and now is that we play a Scottish League Cup game, and then we play Sparta and a winner take all, basically, to see we get into the knockout stages of the Europa League. So these are the two biggest games we've got on. We're sailing along nicely in the league, 4 points ahead, and whatever's going to be happening in the next week is, no matter if Stevie G stays, is going to disrupt things. Whether he stays or no, let's hope he stays. So the 40 million for me doesn't come into the equation at this moment, because that's too far away for me. That's in May next year when the champions become the champions. So I'm even thinking about that situation next year. I'm just thinking about the League Cup game against the Spoonburners, and then our next league game after that. So, and I think it's a Wednesday night if I'm as well. So no, look, he'll go with our best wishes, and whoever we do get in, if he does go, then he'll get the same, as I've said 100 times before, he'll get the same support we'll give any Rangers manager, apart from two.
Aye. Managers, players come and go. Sometimes people don't appreciate what they've got till it's gone, Alex, but that's what happens. Yeah? And both sides of that coin. You've heard Souness talk about when he went to Liverpool. I know the world football was different, and I don't think for a minute that the Lord Aston Villa's pulling Gerrard away for Rangers. If it happens, Alex, it's just that league. It's so massive compared to the Scottish League, and it's difficult for us to take, but it's the reality of Sky football, isn't it?
That's exactly what it's about. It's the Premier League, no matter what team you go to. And it is, as I say, his family's down there and all. You've got to remember, they've been living down there, so he's got the wee kids and that and all. So things you take in, it's going to come down to Stevie Gerrard himself. He's got to balance this up. He's probably get, if it is, he's probably getting round and round in the circles what he's going to do. Because this club has really grew on him. There's no getting away from it. He does love the club. The fans have been absolutely terrific with him. And it's a two-way street. He's been absolutely brilliant with us. The lure of the Premier League, and that's ultimately where he's going to go to. He's not ready for Liverpool, let's be quite truthful about it. Everybody knows that, so this might be the stepping stone that the guy, he sees himself. If he does go,
he'd go via the Championship, Alex.
Sorry?
Villa could get relegated as easily as Newcastle could get relegated.
That's the gamble, that's what I'm saying. It's somebody call it decision he's going to have to make. This could be it could go one way or other for him. It could either really make him, or it could backfire big time. It's tough. It's just everybody's stunned because it's happened as quick and that. You know, you've heard reports and that because he's so popular and how good he is. He's always been named for other teams and games. Newcastle there a couple of weeks ago, and he made the kind of sarcastic wee laugh about it as well and all. But and his name's out there, and let's be quite truthful. The guy's box office, they knew anyway, and these managers will probably want him and all. So that's no only team, Aston Villa. If it's no Aston Villa this time, it'll be somebody else. The way it goes, but we just want him to come up here, win the league back to back again for us. I want a couple of trophies. And that really looked really good on the CV. But if he's away there, he done the big one for me, that 55, and that'll live with me my dying days.
Aye, I get that. Understand. But Brian, some people would say it's players that win leagues, it's no managers.
Yeah, we've got the players, which is a great position. Such an improvement, and it's just been amazing. Don't get me wrong, he's done some brilliant stuff for the club, and I don't grudge him anything, and I wish him all the best. But right now, he's thinking of his own thing, and obviously we need to think about it as well. But I'm going to jump off now because I'm out walking the dog. And
calls to this number are screened by Sky Talk.
There's a name. There's a name for that, Brian, but we don't want to get involved in that.
One thing I will say though before we go, Andy Gorham. See, one thing about when Andy Gorham, I mean, Andy Gorham is obviously for me, he is goalie. But when McGregor came after him, I think you thought there was somebody there who was like always a predecessor, but all day long Andy Gorham. I mean, 1-to-1 shot stopping. I mean, anyone who watched Leeds United, watched us get down to Ellen Road, watched somebody. I mean, it was just Andy Gorham all day long. Anyway, thanks very much, lads. It's been amazing.
Cheers. Yeah, one's called the goalie and one's called the. That says all, I think.
Oxford, can I say something?
Yes.
I'm going to sign off myself shortly on that. But I'd like to say by the way, a fantastic show with the two guys about the presentations for the two goalies. I'd like to shout out for a guy called Joe Fitzpatrick. He comes from Bishop Briggs.
Okay.
Unfortunately, he was one of the guys that got injured there at the Bromby game.
Right.
And my son went out to help him in that, but he was all right. He was in the ground, was in that, but he was end up like Terry Butcher and Richard Goff with the bandages around about him. And he listens to the show, and I've said I've got a wee call out for him, and that I hope he's what you call it, safe and well now.
Well said, mate.
Well said, Alex.
Aye.
That's it. I'm going to sign off now. Thanks very much. Thanks very much. Brilliant show. Yeah, thank you.
All right, I think we've been joined by Magpie. I think he's sneaked in the boys' deck. Evening, Magpie. No, he's no answering. He's no listening. Once he stops, we'll be no stopping him, Jimmy.
Aye, well, he is. He's a bit of a chatterbox and that. We don't have that many of them on here, do we?
No.
Magpie's the best.
Oh, is it Bob Jarrett's joined us?
Bob's here. Yep.
Sure is. I'm here. How you doing, lads? All right?
All right, Bob.
Bob Jarrett.
Hi,
On the subject of the goalkeeper, it was Gorham for me. As great as McGregor is, I'm a great admirer of Alan McGregor, but it's Gorham for me. Gorham was amazing. He was. The old flying pig.
I'm taking a pound in the night, man.
10 pint of lager and brilliant. Great goalkeeper. Was he the biggest man you ever seen? Was he the fittest man you ever seen? But by God, what a keeper. Amazing. Anyway, Mr. Gerrard decides to move on apart from all these people on Radio Snide tonight that are forcing myself to listen to. They've all got him settled, they've all got him away, he's gone already. No, not yet. We'll just wait till it's confirmed. But in my heart of hearts, I think he will leave. But nobody's bigger than the club. Graham Souness left, Dick Advocat left, McLeish left, they all left. The club will go on. We'll appoint somebody. I'm with you in this one, Ox. We're only wanting people that are interested in taking Rangers forward and winning every week and winning trophies. And if Stephen Gerrard decides to go, well, goodbye, see you later. Will you go and struggle with Aston Villa? Because they'll never do nothing in England. So that's my take on it, guys. If he leaves, he leaves. No one is bigger than the Glasgow Rangers. Nobody.
I agree, mate. I couldn't agree more. I couldn't put it any better myself. GFK.
Absolutely.
Right. Well, we've seen here before. Better managers than Gerrard have left Rangers, so he'll go with our best wishes. But it's the next chapters just going to follow on for what we've been doing. So if it's Stevie G to get his 56, we're behind him. If it's another manager, we're behind him as well. Because we always follow. We follow, mate, Bob G, didn't we? And that's all we do. So we'll see who it is, if it isn't Stevie G.
We follow our lives, our days. That'll never change. It'll never change for any of us. We're true blues, we're Rangers fans, and no matter what, we've been through hell and high water with the recent history of the club. We're back on top now, and that's where we aim to stay. So the new man that comes in, we'll all get right behind him. As you say, there was only two, Kixina and Le Guin. And I was one of the ones that was sorry it didn't work out with Le Guin. He was one of the best young coaches in Europe at the time, but language problems and what have you didn't work out. But as you say, they're better managers than him. Dick Advocat, Walter left and Walter retired, and we moved on. We'll always move on to be bigger, to strive to be bigger and better. That's what I think.
Here. Aye. Listen, it happens. He was going to leave at some point, yeah. And as I said earlier, he's not left yet. But there's no the smoke's growing. But we'll see Bob Jarrett might be the best thing. Might be the best thing that happened. You don't know. It's only hindsight.
Could be. It could be. You could get somebody like Giovanni Van Bronckhorst in if he wants a job. I mean, he'd be a popular choice. He was a great player for us under Advocat. Won a lot of trophies. I think he's done okay as a manager where he's been. So if he comes into Rangers, it's as simple as this. Whoever they appoint, we'll get right behind the man, as we always do. And we'll get a fresh start and we'll go. We've got a 4-point lead in this league. Everybody's handing Mr. Postecoglou the league. No. That's a long way off. He can sign the Emperor Hirohito if he wants. I don't care. At the end of the day, I'm all interested in the Glasgow Rangers and the man that comes in, and he'll appoint his staff, he'll appoint his players. Whoever wants to stay can stay. Whoever doesn't want to stay, it's the same thing. On you go. If you didn't want to play for the Rangers, you didn't want to manage Rangers, see you later. We'll get people that do.
Oxshire, can I just jump in?
Yes, mate.
I've been trying to get hold of my pal. You know, I do another place that's Pot UK Radio and that music forum. And I try to get hold of my pal who does the DJing on it with me. It's called Brummy Bear, so that tells you I've been trying to get him since yesterday. And he's new just get back to me. He says, the chat down here, JFK, is that it's a done deal. It's rife down here in Birmingham that Stevie G and his backroom staff will be announced tomorrow. I'm only just telling you what he's telling me, mate.
Right.
That's Brummy Bear.
It could be, mate.
Could be. But that's somebody that I know personally who's telling me that.
Mm-hmm.
So whether it's I don't expect John to be saying anything that's untrue.
No, and with social media and that, things spread like wildfire now, maybe, and sometimes they're not always true.
No,
you're right, Oxen. Ox, I was just going to ask you about a point that you made there. I mean, when Walter Smith did leave in 9 in a row, I think there had probably been a time there that everybody was worried about Dick Advocat. And look what Advocat gave us. He gave us great football, great players and all the rest of it. I'm not saying that our next manager will get the same investment as what Advocat got, but I mean, even after Advocat, McLeish, there was a worry there with McLeish. And then McLeish came in, won his trophies. And then, like I says, in time, Walter Smith came back. So we've always been a club that's been successful and we've been built on success. So there's nothing to say that the next guy that we bring in can't bring us more success.
Mm-hmm. Aye. I mean, I think that the days of guys staying 10 year and 12 year and 15 year at a football club, Bob Ger, have gone.
Absolutely gone, aye. Absolutely gone. You didn't get managers staying long term, as you say. But I'll tell you one thing, as we've all seen for the last couple of weeks or the last 10 days, that Premiership's a very ruthless place. And if you didn't deliver, you're out. It's as simple as that. So as much as he's leaving Rangers, he's supposedly leaving Rangers for what's supposedly a bigger club in Aston Villa. I don't think so. It's a gamble down there. They're mid-table, no better. An overrated Tyrone Mings and that plodder McGinn, it's a big chance he's taking. And I didn't see him turning it round down there with all due respect to some of the guys he's got playing here at Rangers. A new man might come in, he might build a better squad, you don't know, and give us even more success. Let's hope so.
Only time will tell anyway. I think we've been joined by William. Evening, William.
Evening.
How we doing?
I'd just like to talk about how much grace I think it is that Steve Gerrard's going to walk out on us in this Remembrance Week. Honestly, I think it's disgusting.
Oh, seem to have lost William. Aye, look, you're right. People come and go, players come and go. Well, I thought maybe get William back, but it always happens, doesn't it? That people move on in life. It's just life, JFK, isn't it?
Aye, it's just life, mate. I mean, just get on with it. Go to the next step. See who we've got. If it's Stevie G, fine. If it's no, we just keep going. You know, I mean, the puddle drinkers will be loving this, but who cares? Who cares? They've got a lot of other things that they should be worrying about. So it's keeping their spotlight out the news, isn't it? You know, so aye, just let's us just march on. It's a follow for the Rangers. Just let them get on with what they've got to get on with. I'm happy with what I've got in my life, so that'll do me. Rangers for me.
Aye, that's it. Look, as I said before, I've been delighted with Stevie J, the job he's done on the piece, Bob J. Yeah, it's been ups and downs. It's been a rocky road. Last season was spectacular. Great results for you. We disappointed in the 2 cups, but ultimately we walked the league. We skated it. Yeah, and then we've started this year. We've not been the forum, but we're sitting 4 points clear at the top, and it's up to the players. It's how they react. Because football's about players. I've not known a manager yet who's a full manager who puts the ball in the back of the net. It's players out there.
Well, they're not do it's going to cause a disruption of some sort, but as you say, it's due to the players' reaction. We are a football club, we want to do well, we want to win every week, we're capable of winning every week. How we hit form in this country, nothing will touch us. I don't care. Nothing will touch us. It's just, like you say, it's life. He's moved on, he's not the first manager to move on, he won't be the last. Get another man in, get his stamp on it, and then take it from there, because the club will always be, managers will always be there, players will always be there, but the fans will always be there, and the club will always be there. And we must strive to make it better. We always have done, and we always will do.
We're trying to bring Magpie in, but he must be on the phone. He's most likely speaking to us and no Drew Breath, no Magpie. You know, but we'll try to bring him in. Aye, look, it's going. I'm actually surprised tonight. I've got to say, I thought Andy Gorham would win JFK. I did. But I'm actually surprised at the margin. Yeah, because Alan McGregor being current, if that makes sense, yeah?
I know what you're saying. I thought, myself personally, that Andy Gorham would win it hands down. I just thought... I like the way that he defended his box. And I think the games against the puddle drinkers, and especially the game against winning the penalty with Van Hongedonk, and absolutely brilliant. And then the game against Leeds, absolutely wonderful, and various other games. And as I said at the start, the game against Hearts at Tynecastle, when he watched the ball fly into the corner by his left horn, we're thinking, my God, who is this guy? But he proved us all wrong. So I was always confident that Andy Gorham would come out and talk, mate.
JFK, see Andy Gorham, I think what he has got over McGregor is, I'm not saying McGregor's not a Rangers man, he certainly is, but when you hear Gorham would sit and talk to fans, whereas McGregor doesn't seem to. He keeps himself a lot of the time now.
Aye.
Whereas I always like you're saying.
That again, GB.
Aye, no, like in times gone.
To spread himself about a bit.
It's way girl fans, I would say, but no, I just think like Gorham would sit in the pub with you and have a pint. And McGregor doesn't seem, even in his interviews sometimes, it annoys me sometimes in his interviews with Rangers TV. He sounds as if he can't be bothered.
You see, it's a generational thing, and Oxshare and any older Rangers fans. I mean, we have been members of various supporters clubs over the years, and there was, when not just one player, but maybe 5, 6, 7 players would turn up at a function, GB, and the players were very accessible. And Andy Gorham was in that regime. They were very accessible, would come to your functions, wherever it may be, and they would just take part as if you were one of your pals because they were Rangers fans. So I can see your point there. But as time went on, the players became more aloof, and they didn't become fan-friendly, if that's right. They would still sign autographs and that, but there was always at arm's length, and as Oxshare will verify that. I mean, to try and, way back then, you could get as many autograph things as you wanted till they were coming out your ears. But as years went on, it was hard to get the memorabilia and that for players to sign it and do all this thing and to come to your function and speak and all that carry on. It's very hard now. So I can see where you're coming from that angle, but it's a generational thing, mate. The old heads and the new heads. And unfortunately, Oxshare and me and Fox and Bridgeman, and we've all got the old heads on, mate.
I would take exception of one thing he said there. Classing me in with him, Fox and Bridgeman, GB, I've got to be honest. I would take exception to that by a distance. I mean, but listen, I think there's a lot of reasons for that, JFK. I think you're right. The modern. There was a time when you played football 3 o'clock on a Saturday, maybe 7:15 on a Wednesday night, yeah?
Yeah.
And the guys could come to the function on a Saturday night because nothing was happening. Look at it now. You arrange your function for a Saturday night, which will be the favourable one, and lo and behold, there's a match on Sunday morning. It's bad enough for the fans.
I mean, I've never been here to Auchenhowie, right? But I remember when the Gers used to practice, train at the West of Scotland Cricket Club in Partick and behind the bingo hall at the college place in Anniesland. And you were able to walk in and sit down and nobody bothered you. I remember sitting down there when Gaza and all that was there. He was just a maniac. Just funny, you know, and he'd come here and chat away to you and pictures and that taken. You can't get that in New Yorkshire. As I say, I don't know if any of you guys have been to Auchenhowie, if you're allowed to get in a training day, if you're kept away so far away, or is it fine staff? But you know yourself, you could walk up.
You can't just walk in, no.
No, but that's what I'm saying. But, I mean, in these days, you could walk into West of Scotland Cricket Club and just sit down and watch the players train, and nobody batted an eyelid. You know, and you're right what you said about 3 o'clock and 7:30 on a Wednesday nights. The players had the Sundays off. Very, very rarely did Rangers or any football matches happen on a Sunday. When way back in the days, you know, it was always a Saturday or a Wednesday. So, that's a generational thing that as it gradually went on, the players became more aloof because of that situation. Probably that they play that many games on a Sunday and Tuesday.
I don't think there's a problem. I think that when you compare Andy and Alan's, I think it's just a nature thing.
Yeah.
Gorham's got his nature and Alan's got his nature, GB, and I think they're slightly different, and that's all, you know.
It's more like I says, when I look back and watch Andy Gorham's interviews and stuff like that, and then I look sometimes at McGregor's. Don't get me wrong, McGregor's they're funny, but there's times where it looks as though he's arrogant, whereas you could tell in Gorham's interviews he loved the club and he would tell you everything that you wanted to know, kind of thing, without question. It was just McGregor sometimes comes across as if like, I'm too good for you, kind of thing, whereas I never felt that with Gorham, even though I was a young boy watching Gorham, but I always felt as though, I don't know, it was the guy next door kind of thing, whereas McGregor sometimes feels as though he's like, he is a professional football player, you can't talk to him right and all that kind of.
Why did you not put that in your presentation? JFK might have won by more.
Yes, but what I say is like everything, like early doors, like the whole time with Walter Smith and stuff like that, like love him for that. It's just sometimes I think the interviews just don't come across as, I don't know, like a proper Rangers man. I think sometimes the fans want to see that Rangers, like how they care about us and all that carry on, whereas McGregor sometimes just doesn't show it anywhere. That's the only negative I've got to him.
I don't think he enjoys the media side of the game, Bob Ger, does he? You there, Bob Ger?
Hello?
I don't think Alan McGregor enjoys the media side of the game, does he?
No, I don't think so. I mean, you heard him at Hamilton last year, and mind on terrible windy, wet day that we drew on each with him last season there. And I was watching him. He doesn't interview too well. No, I don't think he can be bothered. He just wants to play his football. Get on with it. I couldn't tell you about the man. I've never met him personally, but I do. It's true to say I think Gorham was a more homely person. He was a more homely person. Christ, he was in a chip shop near me. You know, not long after I retired. He was a more down-to-earth guy. I wouldn't say that the Alan McGregor's, you know, in love with his cellar or anything like that, but I don't know. Yeah. Two great goalkeepers anyway. Their personal differentials, I don't know.
I went to a Roxy Music concert in the concert hall in Glasgow 3 years ago. Anyway. And I went to I can't remember the pub I went to after it, and when I walked around the corner, and Andy Gorham was stood at the corner of the Blue Lagoon, absolutely out his head, with a sausage supper in his face. But you know something? That was Andy Gorham. Just he's a blue nose, and when I introduced myself and that, and tried to say, I've met you before, Andy, and that, which he looked at me as if I was daft, probably. Many guys say that to him. But a true Rangers man, same as Alan McGregor, but as I say, it's a generational thing. The players for then mix better than the players for now, and I think it's all to do with security and safety, and I do think some of them up their own arse, to be quite honest. But that's just my personal opinion, and I'm including Rangers players in that.
That's because you're maybe getting older, JFK. Yeah, you look at things differently, don't you?
You do look at things differently, mate. Aye, you know.
If you'd have been 22 tonight and no 42, like
aye. Well, there's no truer saying is. I mean, sometimes when you meet your heroes, it's a disappointment.
But what I'm saying is, the young team is Alec Wishaw. Come on, Jordan's a relatively young man. They're maybe thinking that the world stopped moving because a manager's leaving.
Okay, I mean, my Graham's away at the night and that, and he's a bus couch. He can't believe it. I mean, he's Graham's only 24, and he's like that. He says, I mean, what's going to happen? You know, and it's not the end of the world, son. But for him, in some ways, it is. You know, same as a lot of the young generation now. You know, and like yourself, I've shown my boy all the videos and DVDs that I've got that I've managed to collate over the years and what Rangers is all about.
You've not shown your boy all your videos, have you?
No, well, their ones they're doing the bottom, right?
Okay.
They're doing the bottom, mate. So they don't. They're under the flare boat. Well, I better not tell anybody that. But no, I totally agree with you, mate. You know, the younger generation of the Rangers fans are more upset, I would say, than us older ones. I'm not saying that we're more sensible, because I was young once myself. That's a long time ago. I can remember it, and I done some daft things myself going to see the Rangers. But no, I'm as gutted as everybody else. But I think now in my older age that I'm a bit more pragmatic, and I'm looking at it in a more rational manner. So we'll see what comes before the weekend, Ox here. And if he goes, he goes. If he stays, he stays. It's only speculation.
It's good. Yes, mate.
Do you think it's more the stature that they were worried about losing? I mean, I know Rangers is Rangers, but Gerrard did bring that kind of swagger to us again. That kind of, I don't know, better than class. Now they all say that. Yep, that's it. That's the word I was exactly looking for, buddy. I think we've got to a place where we feel as though, I don't know, like you feel good walking into Ibrox, you feel good walking into the Superstore and all that, and I think Gerrard's brought all that kind of good feeling about the place.
He's been, I wouldn't say that Gerrard's done that, but he's been a big factor in it, mate. He's a big piece of the jigsaw, yeah. If you're doing your jigsaw, it might be the four corner pieces, mate. Yeah, but it doesn't matter how big your jigsaw is, you can always get new pieces.
Yeah.
But do you honestly think there would be a guy that would bring in who's got that kind of pizzazz about him?
The guy might not have the je ne sais quoi Steven Gerrard. The same as Walter Smith never had the je ne sais quoi. I'm not going to say that again. I'm serious. But look what happened.
But the nights that we never thought we would get back and for a long time in Europe was the Rapid Vienna game and the Braga game. That's the best two atmospheres I've been in a long time, and like yourself, Oxy and Fox, we've been going to see the Rangers for a long, long time, and been in some fantastic atmospheres against Juventus at Ibrox and Bayern Munich and things like that, you know. So, no, the next manager hopefully will bring us whatever, and let's hope the next manager's not the next season or the following season. We're jumping in, but obviously we're looking at what could happen. You know,
we're looking at the news and we're debating the news. Right, okay. Andy Gorham won the night. We've got some other heads-to-heads coming. Bob Chair, we've got Richard Gough versus John Gregg. We've got Barry Ferguson versus Stephen Davis. We've got Paul Gascoigne versus Jim Baxter.
Oh, no, there's only one winner there, sorry.
Right, okay. And we've got Davy Cooper versus Brian Laudrup.
One winner.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm going to put an equal through the lot of them. Bart Baxter. There you go.
So you
pointing at me when I come on.
You can guess who's speaking up for James Curran Baxter, can't you?
Yes, you can.
Yes,
Aye.
you can. But,
Greatest player ever to pull a Rangers trip over his head.
well, we'll see. We'll see. I think somebody on the panel might have an argument against that, but we'll see. Bit of fun, Bob G. We're only trying.
Great fun. Brilliant.
We were only trying to lighten the mood during the international break, but Stevie
Every
Gerrards.
one of the guys was masterclass.
Stevie Gerrards took the peep out of our gas, and we'll see what happens in the next day or so.
He's not took the peep out of gas. We'll go on. We'll go on. It's disappointing, yes, but we will. We'll get a boost again. We might forget about Steven Gerrard in a month for the job that the new man's been doing. The new man will come in and do. You never know. But then again, that's in the text. That's in the context that Steven Gerrard's away. He's no away yet. We're all got our chin in our chest, half believing and half he's staying and half believing he's gone. He's no away yet. We might all get a surprise at the weekend and say, "No, I'm staying put," and we'll all be happy with that. Let's hope so, eh?
By the way, you'll never the support. You know what the Rangers support's like. Some people will never be happy. You know, some people say he's not done a good job. For me, he has. And, I think you've got to.
Of course, he has.
You know, right? We'll go to final results. You want the final results, GB?
Aye, go on then.
Right, okay. You were second.
Aye, by a long shot.
66.7% on Twitter went for Andy Gorham, and 79% on Facebook went for Andy Gorham. So quite a strong winner there. There you go. What that proves, mate, is that Oriole gets her on Twitter and Facebook, yeah?
Aye.
That's what I'm surprised about, Ox. I thought Facebook would have been all the young team. There you go.
You've learned a valuable lesson, haven't you?
Aye, that's it. Keeps them. But we've been blessed in that position, Ox, though, haven't we? See, goalkeeper wise, I mean, you could only count in your horn a couple of bad ones, but 9 times out of 10, we've always had a great keeper in the goal.
Carry on, GB.
We've always had a good keeper in goal and that. And is there any other ones that stand out for you since we're talking about goalkeepers?
Oh,
right?
for me, and I don't know, when they came in, I'd never seen a goal like him when Chris Woods came in. You know, Chris Woods was just so athletic, agile, and graceful for a goalkeeper.
Yeah,
made it look very easy. And I don't know if we'd have signed Gorham if it wasn't for the free foreigners rule.
Aye, that's right.
You know, Chris Woods was England cap, wasn't he?
He was England cap. Yeah.
Yep.
He wasn't England number one when we signed him. Shilton was, and he vied with position. I personally think, and I don't know what Bob G thinks, particularly in Italia 90. I think Chris Woods saves that one in the semi-final.
Aye, he did. Woods was a great goalkeeper, like you say. When I first seen him, what's this we've got here? Because Souness did the nominal thing, he both sell a goalkeeper, a centre-half and a striker, like all managers do when they came in. And when I seen Woods, what a difference he made. Like, I mean, who was the keeper before him, with all due respect? Nicky Walker?
Nicky Walker, aye.
And it just wasn't happening at that time. When Woods came in and Butcher came in, what a difference Woods made. He commanded the penalty box. He was a superb athlete, superb shot stopper, won us the league in his first season. And I think Woods was kind of overawed by the size of Rangers, as was Butcher, if you remember it. They were overawed by the size of the club.
Nicky Walker was
Steven Gerrard was. He was okay. I'm not saying he was a bad goalkeeper, but he was in the class of Woods. We've been blessed with good goal. Didn't forget about Stefan Klos either. Stefan Klos was a great keeper.
By the way, you think about Klos as well. He was a midget and all for a goalkeeper.
Aye.
He was.
Aye. He was. Aye. I forgot about Stefan Klos. Aye. But the first goalkeeper I ever saw playing for Rangers was Eric Sorensen. You know, well, I mean, he was not a bad goalkeeper. That day, we only played one season for Rangers, if I can remember right. But going on to Nicky Walker, I think you were at the game with me, Oxshire, but not with me, but with the supporters club. Do you remember we were playing Forfar at Dens Park in a Scottish Cup replay? And it was 2 each in the extra time. They went to
To
penalties.
this number are screened by Sky Talk Shield. Please.
It was 2 each after extra time. They were beating us 2-0, and we took it to 2 each. And then about extra time, it finished. Then he saved 2 penalties that night. We were right behind the goal, Neil Skelfie. Do you remember that, mate? Aye.
I was there.
Aye, I was there.
The great David Cooper scored the winning penalty.
Aye.
And there were 2 up, deservedly so to.
Aye.
I remember that night. Joe Wallace was the manager at that time.
Yep.
Nicky Walker, there's a blast for the pasta.
Shortbread.
You've never mentioned the man in goals. He's got a bag for medals and all. He's the number. You went down through the years of the Rangers keeper. You never mentioned the man who's got a real bag for medals there.
Peter McCoy.
Was one Billy Ritchie.
Peter McCoy's got some amount of medals, mate. Barcelona.
Aye, old Girvan Lighthouse.
2 trebles. Played under Souness. I think he was there. Still when Souness appeared. It's a remarkable career Peter McCoy had. You know, medals galore. Medals galore. You know.
Aye, big Girvan Lighthouse.
Aye. Well, it's been a bit of fun tonight, GB. I hope you're all right, mate. I hope you're
I haven't been kicked up and down the place tonight with the sounds of the poems.
Listen, mate, you're polished your debating skills, and maybe Jeffrey Cox will resign. You'll be able to stand for that seat,
Maybe, mate, maybe. No, I've got a long way to go, buddy. A long way to go.
Yeah.
Well, it's very hard to compete against a guy that basically single-handedly helped get 9 in a row into it. It's a big bitter history. But who's to say Alan can't push on for another couple of seasons for us? We never know.
If he was to win, say, a treble this year, it might be different if he starts pulling off one-half saves again, you know.
That's a possibility.
Aye. GFK, Fox has just messaged me and said that just proves a point. A good audience beats a good youngin.
Oh, definitely, mate, because the audience are merit much more appreciative. True.
Did you enjoy it? GFK?
Aye, it was good, mate. I'm glad I got Andy Gorham. You know, my generation. Well, obviously, Alan McGregor, and I've seen him many times, but Andy Gorham for me. But I really enjoyed it. The banter was good, and GB put a good case for his goalkeeper. And it's all about taking air into it while we're on this silly international break. But it's good, and I'll be glued to the radio the next few nights, not listening to the guys. I'm especially listening to see. You know, maybe tell us anew, but the Jim Baxter one, I'm really looking forward to that one. To see,
you can guess who's doing Jim Baxter, yeah.
Well, I could probably guess, aye, but unfortunately for me, I only saw Jim Baxter in his second coming at Ibrox, so when he wasn't at his best. But what video I've got, a couple of DVDs I've got him, absolutely fantastic. So, aye, it's been good, mate. Really enjoyed it, and it was whoever came up with this idea. Let's do it again. It's absolutely wonderful.
It's great.
It lets you reminisce about different things, and that it's absolutely. It was a good night. Really enjoyed it, and enjoyed your company, GB. It was good, mate.
Cheers, JFK. Nah, much appreciated tonight for coming on, challenging it. And like I says, I think we both agree that we've got 2 cracking goalkeepers there.
Oh, definitely, pal. Definitely. Good.
Aye.
Good chat.
Aye. Last word for the evening for the one and only Bob Gia.
Well, aye, let's have the comparison. The goalkeeper, we've been blessed with great goalkeepers through the years. I've been fortunate. I mean, one Gerhard Neath, God rest him, I mean, a save for Tam Gemmell one night. It was just out of this world. It was unbelievable. And he dived full length and even caught the ball. So we've been lucky, and I really enjoyed the banter tonight with the guys, and the comparison thing's great. Keep it coming. Who's it opposed to Jim Baxter?
Gaza.
Oh, Christ. Oh dear, that will be, no, for me it'll not be difficult, but it'll be difficult for a lot of people. Hey, great banter tonight. That's always absolutely better. I mean, it's just okay, and I've had a bit of a bad time lately, but the Rangers radio perks me up, it cheers me up. I so enjoy indulging in it. That's great. And the comparison thing, I'll be good. I'll be brilliant. And I'll come on every night and I'll listen to it. It'll be fantastic.
Yeah.
Good
Listen,
stuff.
And don't worry, guys, the club will go on, and the club will be bigger and stronger.
Yeah, what you've said there just puts the fact in more into perspective about people leaving a football club, mate, what you've dealt with in the last few months. Yeah. Right, okay. Can I thank GB and JFK? I hope you both enjoyed it. It was great to have you on.
Definitely.
We'll be back tomorrow night, moving our head to head. We're just trying to work out these panellists, JFK. They've got a busy schedule, haven't they? Some of them.
It's hard to try and get them up here, mate. You know, it's getting into the Zimmer, into the office, and that. Some of them.
That's how we have GB on the night. We can only have one Zimmer in.
I'll leave it in the corner for you.
Right. That's Foxy's Zimmer. Right, okay. Hope you enjoyed it, GB.
It's been brilliant, mate. And like I says, thanks again. Great show, mate. Pleasure.
Yep, definitely.
Listen, just a quick before we go, the young team, football never stops. Young team, last minute winner tonight, 1-3-2. I think they're away at Cumbernauld. I'm not sure. I need to check that out. They were. Oh, I think they were. I'm sure we'll talk about them tomorrow night. Thanks for listening. Can I just say to all the Rangers fans all over the world, particularly here on Rangers Radio, please remember, keep it going for the Rangers, because the Rangers need us. Thanks for listening. Stay safe. We'll be back to between 8 and 10 tomorrow night. We'll hopefully another head-to-head, and we'll see what tomorrow brings. Take it away, All School Blue.
They come from all of Glasgow, they come from near and far. They come from every Highland glen, from here to Lochnacar. They sail from dear old Belfast to the bonny banks of Clyde. They gather round to Timeless Park and loudly sing with pride. Oh yes, R-E-N-G, and R-N-S. In case you didn't catch it, friend, now set your mind at rest. Oh yes, R-E-N-G, and R-N-S. The boys in blue of Ibrox, I the Scotland's very best. Oh yes, R-E-N-G, and R-N-S. In case you didn't catch it, friend, now set your mind at rest. Oh yes, R-E-N-G, and R-N-S. The boys in blue of Ibrox, I the Scotland's very best. There's Richie Shearer, Robin, John Gregg, McKinnon too. There's Baxter, Henderson, George McLean, they proudly wear the blue. There's Miller, Brandon, Wilson, what better could you want? Plus 70,000 Rangers fans that proudly sing this chant. Oh yes, R-E-N-G, and R-N-S. In case you didn't catch it, friend, I'll set your mind at rest. Oh yes, R-E-N-G, and R-N-S. The boys in blue, the Ibrox, I the Scotland's very best. Richie Shearer, Robin, John Gregg, McKinnon too. There's Baxter, Henderson, George McLean, they proudly wear the blue. There's Miller, Brandon, Wilson, what better could you want? Plus 70,000 Rangers fans that proudly sing this chant. Oh yes, R-E-N-G, and R-N-S. In case you didn't catch it, friend, I'll set your mind at rest. Oh yes, R-E-N-G, and R-N-S. The boys in blue of Ibrox, I the Scotland's very best. The boys in blue